Yes. What was it like to do the Letterman show? Have you seen those? All 5? I shot him in the head, I shot him in the chest, I set his hand on fire, On camera, he was abrasive, But between takes, he was just peachy, he was just fine. Don't worry about it, I gave him a Cuban cigar, that might have helped. But he was a pansy toward the end. Like when I shot him in the head, that was the last time I was ever on. It's my head! He kept yelling that, do my knee.
So Tom,
who's talking?
I gotcha.
It's me.
There's a hand back there.
Is there? All right, let's go there first.
I wanted to ask if, where it comes from the independent side, if you don't have the specialties to make it look real, should you try to avoid it and maybe go like a Hitchcock path where you don't show it, but give the illusion that it's happening?
Well, yeah, it's more powerful if you do it that way. The greatest horror movies were the old ones where things were behind closed doors or a curtain or something. You had to imagine it. And if you come, like I was a kid in the 50s, I was 8 years old in 1954 when The Creature came out on Creature from the Black Lagoon. But radio is what we listened to. Now it's just 2 guys with microphones, a sound effects guy, they put music in it. But you went to castles and lands like Game of Thrones, detective stories. And it's just 2 guys with a mic. You had to create all that, you know what I'm saying? And that to me was more fun, it was more powerful. It's like when you dream, you're not plugged into a situation. You're creating everything in that dream, elaborate stuff. You're seeing without using your eyeballs. You're hearing sounds that don't exist. I'm fascinated by dreams, but that's what radio was like. You had to create this world in your head. That was best. There's a movie called The Leopard Man where a leopard is chasing this girl through the woods and she's pounding on the cabin door and mom won't let her in. Did you get the flower? No. And then she starts screaming because then you see blood trickle under the door. You didn't see the attack, but just blood trickled. And that stayed in my mind forever. I was horrified by that when I was a kid. Yeah. Hope I answered that. Yeah, back then.
With technology getting better and better and better, and things in film and cinematography always improving, how do you see that with physical effects? The future of those 2.
There are people. The new Evil Dead movie that came out bragged that there was no CGI in it. J.J. Abrams used so many practical effects in Star Wars. I think that it's moving back toward practical effects, but the best effects are the combination of CGI and practical, like on The Walking Dead. You never have the bicycle girl, you're not going to get an amputee to look like that. You're going to create one, so. I wish I had those tools when I was doing stuff. When Rick Baker, when you saw the American Werewolf transformation, that was happening right in front of your eyes, it wasn't enhanced by some computer. And all my stuff happened right in front of you. So the new generations have to pretend that it's happening, and they know that. And us old timers, that's too much trouble, I don't want to have to change my mindset to enjoy something. But I did with Jurassic Park. When I first saw that, I didn't see any dinosaurs. I kept thinking of guys and computers, and that pissed me off. So I saw it again, and I said to myself, everything that happens, foreground and the background, no matter what I see is really happening. And the movie blew me away. I was stoned also, but that helped. but that really helps make you feel like the 8-year-old child that was watching movies. I wish I could watch movies again through the eyes of a child, because I believed it was real. You believed it was really happening. Once I saw Man of 1,000 Faces, I realized, somebody creates the monsters? Well, I gotta be one of the guys that creates the monsters. And that magic was killed forever. But a new magic takes place, a magic of creativity. It's your turn.
We got another.
Oh, okay.
You said Creature from Black Lagoon, but of all the effects artists, were you more inspired by like Rick Baker or Dick Smith, or which ones actually?
They didn't come around for a while, in my opinion. I forget I was a kid in the 50s. That was Jack Pierce. That was the Westmores. That was Who else would have been back there? Well, of course, Ray Harryhausen, yeah. But as far as makeup effects go, yeah, Jack Pierce. Oh, and then, yeah, of course, Dick Smith became the God. He asked me to stop calling him God. He said, Jesus is okay. Because I called him a God in every interview, you know. Because he's the only guy that would share what he knew. You know, it was really tough to learn makeup effects when I was growing up, you know. Everybody kept their secrets. But Dick Smith would, you'd call him on the phone, what? I'm busy. And then you're scared to death because it's Dick Smith. Next time, make a list of questions. Okay, and then 2 hours later, you're still talking to him. And he's telling you step by step how to do stuff. And then he, back then, Xeroxed it and mailed it to you, you know. There's one thing about sharing your secrets, but that's kind of, you know, over the top. But anyway, so yeah, he's the best. He was the greatest living makeup artist on the planet. You know. He says Rick Baker's outdone him, and Rick is fabulous. You know, I think he's the best we have now. Rick Baker, yeah.
And
yes.
one more question. If you don't
Yeah,
mind.
here's another one here.
Okay.
Ladies first, yeah. I'll be the judge if it's a horrible question. No, I have never worked with Stan Winston. You know, I knew him, of course, you know. Would visit when I go to LA. I live in Pittsburgh. All those guys are in Hollywood, California. It's rare that I get to hang out with them. Except for Nicotero. Who? Stan Winston. Oh, Pumpkinhead. Yeah. Just about anything he touched, you know, the Terminator, Jesus, you know, it's Stan Winston. But I knew about him since, you know, the autobiography of Miss Jane Pittman on Cecily Tyson. I did a play with Cecily Tyson, and we talked about that, you know, that makeup. Somebody back there? Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm such a fan, but I have a lot of questions.
You again. Let's go on the road.
So on
Make this a nightclub act.
So when you worked on the set of Dawn of the Dead, what was it like working with Nicotero? Because he basically learned from you on the set, right?
Oh, he wasn't there, not on Dawn of the Dead.
He was not, because I watched a documentary called Nightmare Factory, and he said he met George Romero in Rome, Italy, of all places.
Yeah, and I think he visited the Dawn of the Dead set, but not us. I don't remember him being there.
Oh, he did.
But I've known him since he was 14. You know, he was our bootleg movie guy.
Okay.
You know, back then, that's the only way you got to see. Anyway, you know what I'm talking about.
Okay, very cool. But he did.
Please don't Twitter that, okay? Don't Twitter that. Don't do anything with that information.
Did he learn
say
from
too
you
much.
on Day of the Dead?
What?
On the set of Day of the Dead? Because I know.
Oh yeah. George offered him a position, and he asked me if I wanted him. I said, of course, yeah. You can always use the help. So yeah, he worked on the team. It was his severed head, you know, that they discovered. You know, when he is killed. Yeah.
Okay, very cool.
Greg Nicotero steals movies.
As a child.
As a child. He doesn't need to steal any more movies.
Well, while we're at it, are we leaving on Friday the 13th, Jason? He was our dope connection.
So tell us more about that. Your time on Friday the 13th.
Ari, can we get a bag from you tomorrow? Yeah, it'll be. Yeah. So he was 13. Have
You talking about Ari leaving?
Do you know Ari today?
I do.
Well, doesn't that make sense?
Yeah, 100%.
I was surprised by that.
Yeah, right.
I think we have another question.
All right.
A lot of people try to discourage my son about his makeup and creativity because they tell him it's not a real job. But of course I encourage it because I think it takes a brilliant mind to do what he does and to do what you do. Did someone who was your guardian or parent try to discourage you when you started doing what you did?
I think my dad once said, "Get that shit off your face." Once. But not after that, because, you know, my first movie, I made more money than he was able to save in 32 years of working at the steel mill, you know. So that was impressive to him. Well, I guess that you will make it. Listen, I'm sitting at a convention table and a kid come up to me. Mr. Savini, I've had a hard life. He was talking about doing himself in. He was talking about killing himself. But something he saw, some movie, something I did, some documentary or something, you know, focused him and motivated him. Are you kidding? That's possible, you know? So, no, nobody should discourage him. Let him do what he wants, you know? He won't blame you when he's 35, you know, but probably won't need to blame anybody, you know? Let him do it. So many success stories, when they started, they were like 11, 12 years old, you know, Spielberg, you know, their names go on forever. So that's passion, you know, you become what you think about all day long.